Hello and welcome to my new video. I hope you're all doing well. I have tons of those wooden pieces. They are like really paper thin, and these are from packages from the cigars of my hubby, and they have different kinds of woods and different grains and stuff like that. And I was going to make something with it. I didn't know what, but then it came to me. So I used one of those boxes of my hubby from the cigars. And when this sounds interesting to you, just stay tuned. The first thing I did, I prepared my wooden box here. This is a cigar box of my hubby, and I'm sanding the surface of the box just so that the paint and the resin has something to adhere to. And yeah, the box has a really decent size, so you can do something with it once it's done. After that, I wiped away all of the debris from sanding, and I painted the surface of the box with acrylic paint in gold. And while my box was drying, I cut off those wood veneers into pieces. Then I was testing out my design that I had in my head, and I figured those pieces were too long. I measured out all of my pieces and marked them and cut them out the same size, yeah, for my design. When the paint was dry, I covered the box with some wood glue, and I put my wooden pieces down in the design that I wanted. And yeah, I think y'all call this herringbone design. And as you can see here, those wooden pieces, they lifted up because they soaked up the glue somehow. And yeah, this was not the ideal thing. So I had to come up with some method to press all that down until the glue was dried fully. And so I decided to put one of those silicone mats that you use for baking on top of the wood. The mat is already heavy itself, but I figured, yeah, more weight is much better than too less. So I put some weights on there, and I finished the whole box with the design, and yeah. The next day I took the weights off, and then the box looked like that. I intentionally left some spaces in between the wood pieces so the gold color will show through it. This is a cutter hack, and as you can see here, the backs of those cutters, they have a slit in there. And if you slide the blade into the slit and just like bend it, then it will break on the spot and you won't cut yourself. So, and I turned the box around on my cutting mat, and with my freshly sharpened cutter, I cut off the overstand of the box. And I did that on all four sides. And to seal it all in, I covered the whole thing in my self-made Mod Podge. After that, I took my sanding block and sanded the edges of this piece and fixed all the things that broke off while doing that. And now we're ready for the epoxy. To epoxy, I had to wrap my piece into painter's tape just so if it seeps down, it will have no noses or yeah, close up my box. And if you do a top coat, you have to make sure that everything is level. I put my top coat on top, and yeah, because we are working with wood, that means that there is air trapped into the wood. So you have to babysit the box 1 or 2 hours after you pour the resin, just to make sure that no air is coming out. The resin has cured now, and I will put this temporary tattoo on top of the box. And you will have to cut off those letters on the right hand side on top and on the bottom before you put the tattoo down on the box. I took off the protective sheet off of the tattoo, and now I'm placing it right in the middle of that box. And you got to do that right the first time, because there are no second tries, and yeah, once it's stuck, it's stuck. Now take a tissue paper and wet the whole back of that paper so it's really soaking. I waited a little while till I could have been sure that I can lift off the paper without damaging the tattoo. Now I'm taking my wet paper towel here and just yeah, smoothing out some places. And you got to make sure that you have a wet paper towel, because the dry one will rip your tattoo. I took a dry paper towel and dabbed off the water that was on top. I let the whole thing dry out, and then I made another top coat of resin. Now the resin has been cured, and I figured I'd put something around the rim of that box, and therefore I have my silicone stamp here that I showed you, and I will print those leaves with gilding glue onto my box. So this is really self-explanatory, and I did that around the whole outside of the box. And because I'm an impatient person, I dried out the glue with my heat gun. Now I took my transfer foil and put it onto the glue. And you can also take gold leaf. That both works really well. And everywhere where I had my glue, I put this gold foil on top. And this is what it looked like when I was finished. I painted on the tattoo some pieces in gold just to tie it all together. And when everything was dried, I put my last layer of resin on top of the box. As the resin has cured after 24 hours, I took off the painter's tape, and now I'm taking the same gold pen that I used before, and I painted the edges there. It's a little bit out of focus, but yeah, you can see what I'm talking about. And I think this project is finished. If you liked that video, I would appreciate a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Leave me a comment, and I'm always open for questions or criticism. I will answer as soon as I can. I hope you had as much fun as I had, and thank you for watching. And maybe we see each other into my next video. Until then, bye bye.
Nase, du hast dich mal wieder selbst